Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
Prescott on first down. He finds his target. It's Schultz. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4.
There we go.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On second down, Elliott. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
LaShawn Shady McCoy, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Why? Because of his ability to run the football. He's going to be a 1,000-yard runner year in and year out. But how about his ability to catch it out of the backfield and continue to create big plays?
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Prescott from the gun. He finds his target, Terrence Williams. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down. How about this for an opening drive decision? You got 4th and short, just outside of field goal range in all likelihood. What do?
I'm going for it. I've got to go get it right now. I want to establish a tone. It's early in the game. I want to let my offense know that I believe in them. And you know something else? I let my defense know I believe in them also by taking that gamble. If we don't get it, it's okay. You guys will cover for me.
Hey, chill.
Running with Elliott. Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. Ezekiel Elliott not able to get it past the marker. And this defense holds on the Knights' opening drive. And that could be a major momentum swing here early.
Because the defense stopped them. How great is that? They go for it on the first drive of the game. They're the ones trying to establish something, trying to assert a little dominance. And guess what? You turn it back on them and give the ball to your own offense. I agree with you. It could change momentum in a big way.
Now a play fake here on first down. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for first and 10. They go play action here on first down. That is caught at the 7. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain,
Still
but all
first down.
for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a first and 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now we're going to get a halt in the action because Ty Montgomery is shaken up. We'll check on his status when we get back. They go play action now. Jackson escaping the pressure. And the ball is knocked out. But it looked like a Raven was able to get in there, and they will indeed keep the possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. A lot of energy in this building tonight, but the opening drive produces 3, maybe quiets them just a bit, at least momentarily.
Just a little, right? That's all you're asking for, right? Things just getting started. You know they haven't taken the momentum totally here, but at the same time, they like what they've done here in the early going.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Prescott now on second down. Oh, Prescott stripped, and the Ravens have got it. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
Let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Let's go! Green!
Now Jackson on second down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything. And
under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. DeMarcus Lawrence. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. And Tucker, the former Longhorn, puts this one through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Flushed out right. He hits Beasley right side. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. He got 29 yards that time.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And he finds Beasley complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Here we go.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. He finds an opening past the 40. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
Here's the first carry for Alex Collins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
That's 2 really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked into what they're doing offensively. And now they've earned the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively they're going to have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, isn't working. On 3rd down, Jackson. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Demarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he stopped immediately there. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back near his goal line, it's Prescott. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Prescott. They'll set up the screen to McCoy. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback, you got to make that throw, right? Yeah. That's got to be complete.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
The Ravens on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 3rd down.
And a manageable 3rd down becomes a lot less manageable. 3rd and 7 after the false start.
All right, here we go.
They go play action with Jackson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
On second down, Montgomery. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
It's not a bad idea. Set up in the gun. Send a bunch of guys out wide and let the defense think you're going to try and put one in the end zone. But here, the draw play just gets bottled up from the start, and he'll wind up losing yardage.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
To throw is Jackson. Throwing on 3rd and long. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, what, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And Beasley with it over the middle. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one goes for 24 yards. Prescott now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. They'll pitch it out to Elliott. A decent run there following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
First carry now for the backup, LaShawn McCoy. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the 2nd quarter, it has been a struggle. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd down and 12. Now Prescott. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. Now, that was an inspirational scramble for a 1st down, all the while absorbing a big-time hit. Well, we know the guys in the huddle appreciate what he's doing, but how about the guys in the press box, the luxury boxes, the guy who signs his checks, and especially the main guy with the headset on the sideline? I'm not so sure they like that so much.
Hurry up, here we go.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Demarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Here we go. Green.
Play action. Now Jackson. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Demarcus Lawrence. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And instead, they want to throw it off play action. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your advice. They threw the football, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? No takeaway for the defense. They'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
This is fielded at the 7.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position. Went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down when they're that backed up. You've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on 4th down leads to 1st and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Here we go now.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Montgomery. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And it's caught by Parker. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Let's go.
Jackson, off play action. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. And his throw here is incomplete. Anthony Brown right there to knock it away. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
Go, get out there, get out there.
They'll try to sweep with Elliott. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. It's a big play there on third down. 48 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Throwing, Prescott. And he'll check this one down to McCoy. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Prescott from the gun. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Cowboys on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. To the air again, Prescott. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Final 10 seconds of the half as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll begin the drive with Collins. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, Charles, thanks very much.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Dancing to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position. Because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. A little juke. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. First down, Prescott. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for 2nd down.
Here you go.
Again to Elliott. Takes this up just short of the 30, but he was able to avoid that earlier tackle. Nice move. They get 6 yards back on the run, but still have a 3rd and long situation forthcoming. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The Cowboys on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Here we go, 46. 26.
Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. That's taken on the 25. Oh, and now he bowls him over. A nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now Jackson on 1st down. Escapes the defender. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. An excellent way to start the drive there. 18 yards. So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
Here's a 1st down run with Collins. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here we go now.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. He'll leave it for Montgomery complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Let's go. Boom, landed.
From the gun on third down, Jackson. It's complete to Parker, left side. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Boom.
Jackson from the shotgun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
They run with Collins. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Set. Boom, landed.
On 2nd down, Jackson. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
From the gun, Jackson. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Tyrone Crawford in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And Tucker, the former Longhorn, puts this one through. And they double their lead, pushing it up now to 12-6. So making 4 out of 4 now in the field goal department, and he's able to extend their lead.
When drives are bogged down, he's been automatic out there. So nice to have a kicker you can count on to put points on the board.
And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. He is fully awake now. If he didn't get off to the start that he normally does, they've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? I think that's what went down. I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner, and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up, you think the game plan is working, but in the back of your head, there's that little bit of nagging doubt. Can we do this for 4 quarters? So far, that's not happening.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, You and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Prescott now on 2nd down. Flush to his right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Prescott. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding, offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
2nd down, Prescott. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up a screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And that is incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because their only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Jamarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
Here we go now. Green.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down.
Now's a good chunk of yardage picked up there. And big fella, sometimes he doesn't need a whole lot of space created. He can make his own way.
Here's Jackson to throw. He goes full extension, and he's got it. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore 1st down.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves him from a 3-and-out. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Set. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game.
Hurry up. Here we go.
Now Jackson on second down. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
Now Collins. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 12 yards to pick up there, good for a Raven first. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Play action. Now Jackson. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very solid gain of 27. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Now Jackson. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Watch him now, Barney. Set. 3-19.
Now it's Jackson. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Green 39. Green 39.
Jackson will throw again. That is caught at the 7. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the offense is able to pounce on it inside the 5-yard line. But call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or you...
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Michael Crabtree, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens will extend their lead.
And this is what coaches talk about, never being satisfied. No matter what the lead, always trying to increase it. You never know what can happen in this NFL.
So the Ravens will keep the offense on the field as they're going to go for 2.
All right, here we go.
They'll try and run it here. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the 2-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in a 2-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Yeah, they did. It worked. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got to jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game
down
for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Prescott now. He hits Beasley right side. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Going to drop this off to McCoy, complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now
down.
your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Prescott looks to throw on first. Eluding the pressure right. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Go to 54. Go to 54.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the 1st down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
On the crossing route, complete. It's Williams. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Buying time to his left. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Prescott. And he can't corral it. Maybe a big missed opportunity there defensively in the end zone. And now third down.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays, fire another one into the end zone.
Here's Elliott. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Give him a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal.
Brandon, it's easy to make decisions from right up here where we are, right in the cheap seats, but let's be frank about this one. This isn't even a decision as far as I'm concerned. They have to go for it here. Field goal does you almost no good as time's running out in the game. If you want to win, you have to be aggressive here.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Escaping the pressure right. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys draw a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. David Irving able to swap it from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Jackson. And the grab by Croft. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding offense.
They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Following the penalty, Montgomery hit, and the ball is loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they will have the football deep in enemy territory all the way at the 10-yard line.
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game, but they were in what was really called 4-minute offense, and that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it, a costly turnover. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal.
26.
Now Elliott. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Kill. 26.
They get it to him running left. Gets around him. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't they?
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
All right, here we go.
The drive starts with a run by Collins. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. They go again with Collins. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that's complete to Crawl. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now a give to Collins. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:50 remaining. And again, it's Collins. And, oh, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th.
Automatic
Hard
1st
to believe.
down.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Here's Collins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another 1st down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Here's Jackson. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Ty Montgomery, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Now McCoy, and he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Second and 6, just inside the 30. They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for Baltimore, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Giants next week. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.